Stop scrolling. What if the constant noise, fear, stimulation, and distraction we consume every day is the very thing disconnecting us from ourselves? What would happen if for just 24 hours we all stopped working and turned off every screen? No social media, news, notifications, endless scrolling, and no constant external input entering our minds. Just silence. At first, most of us would probably feel uncomfortable, anxious, restless, and bored. Almost like withdrawal. Because we've become so conditioned to constantly consume information, entertainment, fear, comparison, outrage, and distraction. We wake up every day and immediately we give our attention away. And over time, the more distracted we become, the more disconnected we become. Not only from each other, but from ourselves. We've been taught that doing is more important than being. That our worth is based on productivity, money, status, achievement, and constantly having more. But what if true freedom has nothing to do with acquiring more? What if true freedom begins when we consciously choose where we allow our awareness to go? Because where our consciousness goes, energy flows. And most of us are constantly pouring our energy outward until we no longer even know ourselves. We're constantly feeding our minds with information that keeps us afraid, divided, emotionally reactive, and exhausted. And because everyone around us is trapped in the same cycle, the cycle continues unconsciously. And I know sometimes people hear me talk about addiction and they think, that's not me. Because maybe the object was never drugs for you. But if we're truly honest with ourselves, many of us are still trying to escape something. Some people numb themselves with substances. Others with scrolling, work, money, validation, entertainment, food, attention, noise, and even stimulation. Different addictions, same searching, same emptiness, same disconnection from ourselves. And I'm not speaking from above anyone. I'm speaking as someone who's still learning and growing, still healing, still becoming aware, right alongside all of you. So what if once a week we paused together, not as a protest, not as a holiday, but as a day of remembrance, a day to disconnect from the noise, a day to turn off the screens, a day to just stop consuming fear, a day to reconnect with nature, family, silence, community, and with ourselves. Because maybe what many of us are truly starving for isn't more stimulation, but peace, stillness, meaning, connection, and love. Maybe we were never meant to live in this non-stop psychological stimulation. Fear separates us. It's love that reconnects us and unifies us. And maybe it is through the absence of things that we finally rediscover ourselves. The absence of noise, the absence of distraction, the absence of non-doing. Because when our minds are constantly consuming, we rarely have space to simply be. But in stillness, something deeper begins to emerge. Presence, clarity, peace, love, and inspiration. Maybe that's what those words truly mean. Be still and know that I am. Maybe only in stillness can we finally hear something deeper, beneath fear, conditioning, and distraction. Maybe true freedom is not found in endlessly acquiring more, but in needing less, becoming more conscious, more present, more loving, and more connected to the life within us. To moving from surviving to thriving, to consciously choose where our energy goes. Because when we reclaim our attention, our awareness, and our consciousness, we reclaim ourselves. So I just want to plant a seed. What if once a week we all disconnected together? What if we gave ourselves permission to stop and breathe and listen and simply be human again? If this message resonates with you, please share. Not from fear and not from division, but from a place of love. Because maybe the world doesn't need more noise. Maybe it needs more presence, more stillness, more humanity. And maybe the change we're searching for doesn't begin out there. Maybe it begins within us.